Quality, as John Ruskin stated, is no way an accident. It is always the end result of sensible efforts. Efforts as in planning and the deliberate efforts in execution. So, ways we have added in many experts from the construction enterprises, and today we have a professional from the architectural domain. An architect is an essential part of a project, as we all know. An architect is the first person to conceive an idea about how a structure must be, and the results follows. It is the collaborative effort that makes a task successful. And I'm certain today we would be enlightened through an insightful presentation on the fundamentals of architecture. Today, we additionally have professionals from Ramco Industries Limited to give us a shot about a couple of their progressive products. And on behalf of BUY, Cochin Chapter, and Construction Philosophy Magazine, I welcome all to this event. And I request Dr. Anil Joseph to come ahead and introduce our esteemed guest. Anil, sir, please.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Nebu. And it's after quite a long gap. I hope everybody had a good Onam holidays amidst this COVID problem with safe distancing and other protocols to be followed. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce architect Sneha Mary Thomas, a very close friend and a close associate whom I enjoy working together. And architect Sneha Thomas graduated in Bachelor of Architecture from College of Engineering, Trivandrum in 1999. She started her career working with leading architectural practices in Cochin. After the initial years, the family settled abroad and she joined DP Architects Singapore, enhancing her opportunities working international project. And it's a real good exposure she had that is reflected in her works in Cochin also in nowadays. After returning to India in early 2008, Sneha Thomas Architects was instituted in Kochi. Passionate and dedicated to the craft, she works diligently to create meaningful and contextually respective aesthetic spaces. The design practice is built on the core values and principle of providing creative, functional, and cost-efficient design solutions in the field of architecture, interior design, and landscaping. Her design thoughts and approaches are tailor-made to the client's needs, and her own words follow the whole philosophy of design of essentials. Architect Sneha Thomas has to her credit more than 130 individual homes, 15 institutions, and several uniquely designed interior projects, both residential and commercial. She is a recipient of ICAI Ultratech Endowment Award in the year 2014. Architect Sneha is a National Merit Scholarship holder and a life member of Council of Architecture and life fellow of Indian Institute of Architects. She is actively involved in IIA Kochi and had served as its treasurer. And more than that, she is the wife of one of my close friend, Sajan, and it's a family bonding which we have together. And welcome Sneha to the program. Yeah, so, and today we have, like Nebu pointed out, experts from, so as part of education, we also believe that an engineer or an architect or a construction professional should keep abreast with what is the change happening in the technology. And as part of this education, we are also bringing in what is the latest development happening in the industry. I am very happy today we have professionals from Ramco joining with us. And I would like to introduce the two experts who will be sharing the new interesting products which is coming into the market. And unless and until we keep on improving our knowledge, so that is the main purpose of this course. Because once we leave colleges or once we get into the site, we are get into a particular group. We have to get out of that, keep talking to your peers, learn what is happening new, and try to adopt the new technology into the field so that we can improve. So we have today Mr. Sambashivan Srinivasan, Vice President Sales and Marketing, with more than 3 decades of experience in building materials, lighting, sanitaryware, and water management. And currently he heads the projects India and exports Ramco Industries Limited, Chennai head office. I welcome Sambashivan Srinivasan to this program. And also we have Mr. O.U. Rajiv, Assistant Vice President, Sales and Marketing with expertise of over 27 years in the field of building solution. Ramco Industries has evolved to be one of the leader in building industry with his expertise in the field of dry walls and ceiling technology. Quite interesting thing, dry walls and ceiling technology. And Rajiv and the team from Ramco will share with us what is the latest in that in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll have a 1 hour session from Sneha regarding the introduction to the architecture. And as usual, we will have the interactive session. Our chairman, Jolie Varghese, has also joined the session. Welcome, chairman, to this program, and all the best. And my dear participants, I hope we will be able to improve our knowledge and keep our interaction. And every face, it's quite a long gap, and I'm happy to see the faces back in the group. Welcome each and every one of you, and let us have a meaningful session today. Thank you, Nebu, for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I welcome the professionals from Ramco Industries to come forward and give their presentation.
So, good morning to all. I'm just sharing my presentation. Just see that whether it is visible.
Yes, go ahead. Perfect. Sorry, presentation is not started yet. Yep. Yes, go ahead. Perfect.
Audio is also clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good morning to all. Hope you and your family are safe. We know that all pandemic situation. On behalf of Ramco Industries Limited, I welcome, first of all Build Association of India Cochin chapter members and CP members, and speaker of the day, Sneha ma'am, and all participants. And sir, all are Malayalis or any other languages also there?
No, mostly
all are
Malayalis.
Malayalis.
Yeah, you can continue in that. Yeah.
You can switch to Malayalam.
Okay. No, I just want to know that. Okay. And I just thank Mr. GT, Captain George also for instrumental for this activity, connecting to us to you. First of all, thank you so much for giving this opportunity to meet you all. Here, I'm just, let me take you as presentation, which content is about Ramco product and services. So like you, we are also trying to working on improvement of products and methods for sustainable green building structures. So here we are all committed to the nature, make it green. So as when you select, that previous slides, one of the major member is construction method and product specification. So as you know that when you select a product, I'm just quickly running the presentation because I know that the time is 10 minutes only or 15 minutes only. So I'll just quickly through the presentation. So any doubt, clarification, we can connect after this meeting also. So when you see this diagram, the peripheral circle, if you see there, when you select a product, it should be a green product, it should be a water resistant, termite resistant, and acoustic property, thermal property. When you come to inner circle, it should be a fire resistant properties. As you know that there are a lot of rules out there, and the ready to use product is required to make a rapid construction, and it's a pre-engineered space living product. Pre-engineered, it will have to get a consistent quality and perfection in engineering. So why Ramco comes in? Ramco is a company part of Ramco Group. Ramco Industries Limited, part of Ramco Group, completed 53 years of excellence. We started in 1967 with one product, and now we are having multiple product and product services we have. So we are also working towards this green sustainable building products and methods. So we have different vertical called cement, software, cotton, synthetic. Ramco Industries is a part of Ramco Group company. Let me discuss something about why Ramco. Last 3-4 years, we are also working towards and focusing more on green dry construction methods. As you know, a lot of advantages. We are not saying that normal conventional methods are bad, it is also very good. But now current scenario, why we are promoting green dry construction? And we have a lot of products also to assist to make this even, green dry construction. We are also manufacturing different products. So as you know that brick, we compare wet and dry. So wet is we call conventional with the brick and mortar, and drywall is basically with the different boards and sections. So why we should aim for dry construction? See, one is less strain on nature. So with this dry construction methods, we can reduce water consumption, sand, brick, and wood, etc. So definitely, we are all looking for this kind of construction techniques. I know you are also working on this. All building construction industry as well as architecture, all architects are also working on this towards this setup. See why dry construction is better when we say that water usage is very, very minimal when dry construction adopt. For example, dry construction, we use 2 liter water per square meter against 23 liter water per square meter in wet construction. That is, curing is required, plastering is required, all kind of. Any disturbance is there? Hello?
No, it's all right. You can go ahead. It's clear.
Okay. So that is why where we can reduce the water content, and we are saying that it is dry construction is 4 times lighter. As you know, when it is lighter, the total reduces the total weight of the building. So when you compare dry construction, the thickness options are there in dry construction method, and the product which is using for dry construction is also lightweight. There are a lot of options are there in the market. So 4 times, so for example, 1 square feet of brick wall comes around 20-21 kg per square feet. Here it is 500 kg only in dry construction. So 4 times faster. If you see that 1000 square feet of construction can become complete in 3 days. Why? Because there are a lot of ready-made boards, sections are available against 11 days in normal conventional type construction. And here also that, as I told you, there are thickness options are there. There we can reduce the thickness of the wall as per your requirement. So you will get more carpet area. So there you will not able to reduce because the size of the brick is normal, size of the brick is same. So there also we are saving space, carpet area. And another major important factor is fire resistant. So we can provide different fire rated system. In dry construction, we can give up to 4 hours fire rated system, which help to evacuation people from the building. So we are promoting dry construction because there are many advantages here. Better sound insulation, different insulation material we can use, up to 56 dB we can provide. And any finish, whatever you feel, we can finish, whatever you decide, we can give the finish on the surface, paint, tile, lamination, etc. So these are the basic advantages. As you know that these are the advantages when you go for dry construction. So we are also trying to promote or focus this dry construction method for last 3-4 years. We also have different set of people. We have separate set of associates to promote this. Then I'll come to what are the products we manufacture to support this dry construction method. So we have Hylex. So it's a calcium silicate board. This is available in different sizes. Maximum size is 8x4 size, and different thicknesses are available, 6 mm to 16 mm thickness for different applications. And we have acoustic sealing and designer sealing tiles also available. So why calcium silicate compared to other product, which is Hylex is better? How? because available in the market, there are many products are available like gypsum, plywood, fiber cement board. So calcium silicate board, which we manufacture in 2 places in Chennai as well as in Rajasthan. And basic advantage is it's a non-combustible, and we can provide 4-hour fire rated system with this board. So when you see the criteria of a fire resistant board, these are the major fire propagation index and spread of flame. So our fire propagation index is 1.2, which is class 1 category. And then next property is it's a water resistant. So you can put into the water for 24 hours. There will be no dimensional change on the board. And it is termite proof. It's clear, Anil sir? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, perfect.
Okay. It is unaffected by termite, so that durability is much higher compared to other products, and reasonably good impact strength, 1900 joules per meter square. So sound installation is also far better. So we can up to 56 dB wall we can provide. NRC is 0.75 to 0.8 we can attain with this board. So it's a fungal fungus resistant product. So it is widely used in hospitals, especially operation theaters and all. And this product is listed in DSR. So it's a lot of government projects also specifying this product. And many certificates also, because we told you we are exporting to 28 countries. We have across India itself, we have almost 3,000 dealers network, and 28 countries we are supplying. So every countries, they need their own certificates. And as I told you that we can provide 4-hour fire rated system. So we have design, we can give you the BOQs, we can give you the design as per your requirement. The supporting system we have, we are not only the product manufacturer, we are giving the support to the clients. So whatever design support, even execution also we can do on behalf of you. This is different certificate this product Hilux is having, different countries, different certificate, then only we can export to that other countries. It's a green certified product. And I'll just take you some of the projects which already we have done. This is all walls which you are seeing is Hilux board only. So that's earlier I told this the properties of Hilux board. One is termite resistant, water resistant, fire resistant. So it can be used even exterior, and any finish also can be given. So you can see this kitchen area where we have fixed the tiles on the Hilux board. This building is it's completed in 6 months time in Coimbatore. It's just complete steel building and cladded with Hilux board. It's almost 6 years completed this project. This is different Hilux designer tiles available. So this is in Kerala itself, this church. VST Global also we have supplied all ceiling completed work in this building is with the Hilux board. This is Blue Hayat. So you can see even the wall also they done with board. There's another project we completed in Cochin. The side wall, you can see that Hilux board, this acoustic tiles are available, which is applied on the side. So that's for Hilux. So we have another product. It's called ISM. It's a fiber cement board, which is also available in different thicknesses, different sizes. The property is almost same, but only the difference is the density is and the finish. Hilux is a premium product. ISM also having all properties which Hilux is having. Only the issue is fire rated property is better in Hilux. ISM is little heavy, the 1250 kg per meter cube density. And we have designed different design styles for cladding, ceiling, and we have plank, which looks like a plank, teak wood plank. So this we can paint it in different colors also. So ISM board is a multi-purpose fiber cement board which can be used different applications, cladding, roof underlay, even staircase, kitchen, many applications can be done with ISM board, which is available up to 18 and 20 mm also. So this is some of the project which we completed with ISM board. This is in Sri Lanka. This is 69-story building, twin building actually. Here complete interior we have done with our smart build team. Complete ISM board used inside. This is a special type of partition as per the specification we have done. This again in Kerala. This is a plank, ISM plank used here, and internal wall is ISM board. Again in Kerala, the cottages, this ISM board on steel structure. So flooring is ISM 18 mm board, side wall with 12 mm and 10 mm board. This is an Alapi. Now Alapi houseboat, you can see many of the manufacturers, they are also shifting from plywood to ISM board because of the durability part. And the price is also less compared to plywood. From Ramco family, we introduced painted boards, which is painted in our factory itself. So whatever you wish, so we can do painting on the Hilux board and supply to the customer. So suppose if you want a theme on the board, so we can paint it. So we can paint it in multiple board and give it to you. So ready to use actually, ready to fix on the wall. So we have one more roofing product, which is called Ramco Green Core. It's a non-asbestos cement fiber cement roofing sheet. The major advantage is it is will not corrode, corrosion-free material, and durability is much higher compared to metal roofing sheets. And there is no sound while raining. So, and conductivity is very low. The temperature inside also much lower than the metal roofing sheets. We are pitching against metal roofing sheets. There are a lot of applications we have done in Kerala, across India and Nepal. So next, I would like to, initially I mentioned to you that we have a team of engineers and architects, which is, that vertical is called Ramco Smart Build. We have a solution provider company. Here we do give a lot of information or technical training to the team, how to use our boards. And we have mobile app for better coordination. And we have some of the builders, those who are associating with us for execution of jobs. And all products are factory cut, ready to use. So immediately, once we transfer to the site, immediately we can do the application. So we can give the number wise, so where to be used, which board to be used, that can also be given. So recently, we have taken a job there in Rajapalayam, and these are the activity which that Smart Build team is doing, training, dry construction and all. And recently we have completed a work in 60 days, which is LGSF and with board, light gauge steel frame. And boards are used here, HISM boards are used here, HISM and Hilux, internally Hilux and external HISM boards are used here. So even roof also, and top of the roof board, we applied shingles. So it took 60 days only for completion. And these are the specification of LGSF, HISM board, Hilux board, HISM board 18 mm used for the flooring. 16 mm we used on rooftop, and with the shingles, Rockwool insulation we have given. So one is sound insulation and thermal insulation. Better thermal insulation also will be there. So this video is there in YouTube. So if you type YouTube, if you type Speed Construction Staff Quarters, it is the time-lapse video is also there. So after that, we have introduced, this is the last application service we provide. So we developed a hybrid, we can say that wet and dry. How, because suppose some customer is saying that this, whether the dry construction is safety or whether it is good or not. So some cases we also give this kind of technical support, where this is a combination of dry and wet, like so we give boards as a and inside the concrete we fill it up. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah, see, so that infill will be concrete, and minimum steel also will be used. So you can see, and we leave it that shuttering board as it is. So there is no need of plastering, so time saving. So for example, 1,500 square feet can be completed in 3.5 months. A lot of time saving. This is again in Kerala only, we have done in Kadapal. So this is associated with one of the contractors there in Kadapal, and we are doing this Jiffy model. Here complete that wall, you can see this complete HISM board only, Ramco HISM board, but internal core is concrete. It can be used as a load bearing wall, and even roof, there also we have used HISM board. In short, this is the product and service providing from Ramco Industries Limited. So we have people there in Trivandrum and Calicut. Our team members are also there. I think with short time, I could just run through a small presentation. Anyway, is there a question from your side? I hope you got some flavor about Ramco product and why Ramco into this field, and why Ramco is promoting this construction techniques.
Yeah, it was really good. It was an innovative product and it's catching up in the market. And Raju, I was very happy to share with you that we were the structural engineers for that UST Global as well as Lulu Grand Hyatt project, and where we were really worried about the load coming on the structure, and your product really helped us come up with a very good design. So thank you for being partnering with this and sharing the knowledge with the engineering and the technical supervising fraternity. Thanks a lot, Rajiv, for joining us. Definitely. And now I think Sneha, you can carry over, and Rajiv, you can join back again towards the last for the question and answer session, where there might be questions for you also.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, we will connect.
Yeah, sure, Rajiv. Thank you. Sneha, please, the floor is yours.
A very fresh good afternoon to one and all. I consider the sharing of thoughts on architecture to our fellow professionals a very remarkable opportunity. I thank Dr. Anil for inviting me to be a part of the Quality Improvement Program for engineers and supervisors, and a very nice intro for me. Word of gratitude for Builders Association of India for doing the QIP sessions for young engineers in the building industry. Pandemic is forcing us to have a virtual program. Let's hope soon mankind's enthusiasm and will to move on wins over this. Dr. Anil Joseph wanted to give a session on introduction to architecture to all of you. Being a very vast topic, we shall together attempt to have an understanding by going through some aspects in a very simple manner. Now I shall try sharing the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So first, let me try to define architecture. Now, architecture is a social art and science that touches all human beings at all levels of their existence, everywhere and every day. Architecture uses science and technology to design meaningful built environment for meeting the specific needs of human activities in an aesthetic way. Art expresses the sensations, feelings of the artist through the forms he chooses, with or without purpose of beauty. But architecture is not that free. An architect has to achieve the functional aspect of the space to meet the end user requirements. Another definition of architecture is the metrics of human civilization. That is, it is a measure of the development of the society, the lifestyle. In short, it is an expression of that era. It's like the history and literature of one nation in a built form. If you remember your history, when we learned about each civilization, we learned it through the architecture, through the buildings. The carvings depicted the lifestyle of the people. The art and craft spoke of the advancement of knowledge, working of tools, and so on. Now, this is, I put a picture of the ruins of Mohenjo-daro. We are all very familiar with it. I think we started studying it from our third standard or fourth standard onwards. Now, the ruins, if you study it, it clearly indicates a very sophisticated society. They had, you can see a Buddhist stupa in the background and the ruins of Bath in the center. Further, the well-planned city, mostly built with baked bricks and having public baths, college for priests, an elaborate drainage system, which we definitely don't have now.
Excuse me, Snehanan, sorry to interrupt. Can you switch to full screen,
Yeah.
please?
Sorry?
Can you switch to full screen, please? Full screen. The slideshow it's not on actually. Yeah. It's not working.
It's not working, right?
No. Can you click from beginning? There's a button there onto your left hand side, extreme
yeah,
left.
yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for helping me out on that.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So they had, I was talking about Mohenjo-daro. Basically, what we are trying to say is, so architecture is reflected in the history, and we can learn about that period's lifestyle, everything depending on, I mean, if you learn on the architecture of that. So that is why it is said as it is a measurement or a metrics of the civilization. I've also put in a picture of the pyramids of Egypt, which is like one of the which took a very high degree of architectural and engineering skill, and the organization of a large workforce consisting of highly trained craftsmen and laborers. Now, the pyramids were decorated with paintings, carved stones, hieroglyphs, three-dimensional statues. All these told us the story of the pharaohs, the gods they believed in, the common people, the natural elements over there, plants, birds, and animals. So in the history, you see that. Next, we come to an independent young India, and we have the first planned Indian city, Chandigarh. It was the vision of our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, to plan a city in an urban environment. So this is the first city that they have done. And he hoped that the future Indian cities will continue to take this as an example and grow. Next, next we are showing, so this is, so we had a system, we had an attempt in doing it, but how far we have progressed, we are yet to see. Now this was the weather vane that Le Corbusier designed in Chandigarh. It has become a symbol of the city. The hand was open to give and receive, and as a sign of optimism. Architecture is not just a functional thing. We have symbolism, we have monumental structures, everything is there. As rightly said, architecture is a non-verbal way of communication, and it is a quiet record of people who produced it. Now, the word architecture comes from the Greek word architecton, archi meaning chief or master, and tecton meaning mason or builder. Since it is from the Greek word, I put the ruins of Parthenon on the side. So architecture is the art and science of designing buildings, structures, and spaces. We know that all other engineering branches follow pure science approach, whereas architecture is the only branch of engineering which has a holistic approach, as end users' emotional and functional needs are to be met with. When we learn in college, we have a 5-year course, whereas all the other engineering courses have 4-year course. So for that 1 year, for the 1 year extra we have 1 year practical training with a senior architect, where we learn how to deal with the clients and how exactly an architect works. So that is why we have 1 year more than the normal BTech courses. Next, we can move on to the objectives of architecture. So why do you have an architect? What are we trying to achieve? So architecture evolved as an outcome of different things. Now, the human needs basically were shelter, security, power, and worship. So shelter, after the basic need of food and air to sustain life, humans require shelter. Security, through an extension of shelter, is for the protection of wealth. Most civilization had a place of worship from time to time. Mostly places of worship are done with an attempt to feel an awe factor. Now, power brought in, power of kings and chieftains brought in the design for huge forts and palaces. So those are basically the human needs that we are trying to achieve during time immemorial. Next thing that that affected us was the materials and the skills that were available. As you know, some places where you have stones more, we build stone buildings. Where you have clay more, we built brick buildings. Even in our own Kerala, the northern parts of Kerala were very rich in laterite stone. So most of the structures over there have used laterite. So that is, even the wall thickness, you have a laterite stone thickness. Whereas in the southern parts of Kerala, where wood was more available and laterite was not that much available, we used wood. So, so in a small geographic location like Kerala itself, you can see how the material availability defined architecture. Another factor of the thing was the skills of the workers or laborers who were working on it, and also their ability to develop the tools that help them in carving or whatever associated with architecture. So these are the objectives whereby architecture has evolved. Now we'll think about the main four fields in architecture. So what the four fields architecture uh, attempts to address through is the humanities, then technology, science, and arts. Again, what you saw different from our other branches is we have humanities and arts also coming into the picture. When we do our courses also, we have fine arts in our curriculum, we have psychology, sociology in our curriculum. We used to wonder why we have all that. But in actual practice, we realize that because we are attending to the human needs, we are supposed to realize what the dreams, what their requirement are. That is why we are learning about the humanistic approach also. So basically, architecture uses the natural ideas of humanities, the logic, rationalism of science, the originality, creativity, concept, and aesthetic imagination of art, and the resources and technology. For this, I just want to explain the thought process through an example. This most of you may have gone there or you know about it. Durian is the national fruit of Singapore. They all love everything with durian. They have durian cakes. Even though it has a very different pungent smell, they love the fruit. And this Esplanade, which is the Theatres at Bay, is locally known as Durian Building there. Its main feature is a roof consisting of two huge domed metro lattice supporting structures which glitter and create various graphic patterns depending on how the light falls. The external shading system of the triangular louvers is responsive and adjusts during the day to the sun's angle and position. And you also have a secondary sun shading lattice with folded sunshade, which gradually transform in shape and orientation. The resulting dynamic and ever-changing mesh of dappled sunlight and shadows and gives the building a shell similar to the Singaporeans' favorite fruit, durian's formidable thorn-covered husk. You can see it. That's why I thought I put in this thing. So here you have the human factor coming in, and you have the structural factor coming in, you have the technological factor coming in, also the art factor coming in. So this is an aerial view of the building where you have two domes. Now this is actually, so the humanities, like it is actually, you can have, there are chances or there are venues for having public performances and private performances. So it is a venue for art and culture, and it identifies with the civic core of a city. Also, as it has been designed to suit the acoustical conditions that is required by all the Asian arts. They have various artists and acoustic consultants coming over here to set the inside portion of the of each performance centers. And structural consultants did a major job in making the design into a functional reality with the ideal perusal of technology and scientific approach. So this is what I've tried, through this example, I have tried to immaculate how this, all the factors like humanities, art, science and technology play a part in the design of a building and the execution of it. Now, let's take a look at the factors affecting the architectural design. So you have some factors coming in. I'll go through each one very quickly. We have the client requirements, which is the most important thing. So in private homes, we cater to the client's requirements only. The second one I've said is end user expectations. But when we do workplaces or institutions or malls or hospitals, hospitality industry related buildings. We need to make sure that the end user, that is a person who comes to use it, also finds a design space to suit their activities and appeal. Like when you go to a mall, the actual client may need to have the income coming out of it after he has invested so much. But what do you want? So, as an architect, you're supposed to think about the end users, whoever people are coming in there. So, when you go to a mall, different kinds of people are coming in there, different strata of society, different genders, and there are all kinds of people working over there. You have high-end hotels there. You have walk-in restaurants there, you have cafes there, you have the cleaning team there. So everyone needs to have their space, and you need to functionally meet each of that requirement also. So that is what we mean by saying the end user expectations. Now, a good architect is more than just design buildings. He or she tries to understand how people surroundings make them feel and create an environment that will meet their needs and desires. So here I'm showing the picture of a workplace that we did recently in Lulu Cyber Park in Infopark. So this is this. So they wanted me to give them a very grand looking reception. So that is what we have given them: a very grand looking reception, very very high end feature wall. They really loved it, and they're putting it everywhere. But when we came to the workplace atmosphere, we went in for a very light color theme. The color also matters. So we went in for a white and green theme, which is supposed to be the cool colors and giving the people energy and at light to sit and work over there. So that is the workplace atmosphere. Next, in the same office, we have a very elegant boardroom with a dazzling light feature. And next, if you see onto your right, you see a motion graphics row. So here, that is it is a client-specific requirement because they are into digitally developing videos and all that. So they needed a motion graphics room where they could shoot and they could put in whatever background they needed. So, so, so this workplace I'm trying to show you, it is in one place, but we are attending to each area in a different manner of what the client or the end user would like to have. Are there any questions till now, or can I just continue and wait till the end?
I think, yeah, take the question in the last.
Last, okay. Next, we were talking, so next I'll just go back to the slide. We have social factors. So now social factors are how the society affects the architecture thoughts. Now, from my own personal experience, when we were small, we used to have a beautiful football ground in a residential area, very common and known to all of us. There, all the, everybody, all the students from various schools used to come there to play football. And there was a healthy competition and friendship among the different tiers of the social network. Like you will have government school kids coming in, you will have public school kids coming in, you have private school kids. So there existed a competition, but a friendship also. But about 5 to 6 years back, the entire place, they have made it into a landscape designed area with lawns and a lot of mounds and all that. So basically, the kids cannot play there. And along that area, there is no other vacant space where the kids can play. So I should say that has not been a very successful attempt to change the football ground to a landscaped sitting area. Another thing that we always find is when government tries to, do away with the slums and all that, they always try to give them vertical housing. Now, mostly the EWS section of the society will have a secondary income by growing plants or having pet cow or hen or whatever. So once you shift them to this vertical flats, they are not able to live the way they want to, or which they are accustomed to, or how do they have the secondary income happening. So in most cases, after a while, what we have seen in the current trend is they will sell off this apartment that we've given them and go back to some area where they can again live like how they used to do. So we have to come up with systems where we make the factors correct. Let's try to give a solution where they try to accept the solution that we want. That is not acceptable. You need to give them a solution to suit their needs. Okay, next thing is the economic factors. Now, when you design a building or when you construct a building or a space that you try to evolve, we have economic factors. There are two factors mainly. You have a necessity factor and a good to do factor. So necessity factor is a must do thing. Basically, when I discuss with my clients, I always say when you design a building, you have to have the structural system. You cannot compromise on that. Structural system has to be strong and solid, that it stands a test of time. But in finishes, if you want, if, like, you know, you do some finishes now, and if you want, you can upgrade it later. Similarly, like when you are designing, you mostly people come and say, we want a 4-bedroom home. 90% they wouldn't be needing a 4-bedroom. The maximum they would need is a 3-bed home. So suppose you plan for a 4-bed and do a 3-bed now, and then you do the, if a need arises, you can always do the 4th bedroom. So in that way, you try to restrict your economic factor affecting the overall design of the building, and you can spend that money that you had allocated for the 4th bedroom attached toilet dress to the current requirement that you have. Then you have good to do factors, that is the, you know, lighting, finishes, curtains. You have from 50 meters per meter to 1500, 2500. So that and all you can help the client to choose. I'm not saying go for the cheaper thing. What I'm saying is you have to give them a very cost efficient solution. That is what we try to do in our work, and we try to convince the client also, you don't need to spend so much, you can spend this much and get a good product as well. Okay, so that is what the economic factors mostly we talk about. Then comes the legal factors. That is mostly, you know, all the rules that we have. We have the Kerala municipal building rules. We have the Kerala Panchayat building rules. You have the national building code. Then there is a lot related to fire related. And then also you have special zonal rules like Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Sorry, once again. Please, എല്ലാവരും മൈക്രോഫോൺ ഒന്ന് മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കാൻ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണേ. ഇടയ്ക്ക് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ആയിട്ട് ഡിസ്റ്റർബൻസ് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. Sorry, Sneha, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So you have special zonal rules like, you know, the CRZ. We all know what happened with the CRZ violation. Then you have heritage zones, the railways, the airports, defense stations. So there are a lot of criteria you have where you have to look at the rules and regulations of where the plot or the space you're trying to create is. That is the next thing, legal factor. Then the next one, climatic factor and environmental factor are interdependent and interlinked. They must be addressed with extreme caution to ensure proper and safe existence of humans and other living beings and our Mother Earth. Otherwise, we are going to have a lot of problems happening soon. Next is the technical and technological factors. This involves various consultants led and coordinated by an architect. I'll go into detail of that a bit later. So now I'll just go through that. That is, the profession of architect demands a certain ability to synthesize information coming from different areas. An architect often assumes the position of a leader, mediator, or centralizer in a group made of very different specialists. So what we ourselves call is we need to be the jack of all trades. We need to know about the different consultants that are required for a particular design, and we need to approach them and tell them what exactly we want and take their opinions and then get it into the actual construction process. So because we cannot know everything about everything, so what we do is we know about that thing, so we go to them, get their information, link in with our design, and then present it to the client. Okay, so that comes a technical and technological factors. Next is, most of you may be knowing about it, but I'll just run through the services that architects do. So first you have the project inception. That is where the client comes to you, tells about their needs, dreams, and goals, like what they want. So the client can be a single person, it can be a trust, or it can be a government body, or it can be an investment person. So the type of clientele varies, but the needs and dreams and goals are always particular to each client. So if the first initial thing that we do as an architect is we try to understand what the client wants. Okay, that is the first thing. Next, what we do is the schematic design. So the initial designing is involved. So we start designing and we try to incorporate what all the client wants. And also we add on things that would be required, even though the client has not mentioned it. And wherever we think that the site requires heavy foundation and things like that, we start doing the soil testing, consulting with the structural person that there itself. So by the time we move on to the final design, we'll get an input from our structural consultant team also. So they're very important for our work to come out successfully. So that is what happens in the schematic design. Then we have the discussions with the client. The client sometimes, if it is a home, it is a bit more difficult because we have different people asking us of the same family different things. So it is our duty to understand what each person wants and give them what they need, even if it is in a single home. So maybe that, so we jokingly say maybe that is why we had to learn psychology and sociology and all during our class time. Next is the final design. So final design is where we have to incorporate all the commands that the client has given during our schematic design time. Sometimes the schematic design we need to work only once, but we always make sure that before we move to the final design, all the requirements of the client and the end user are met with so that we can have a successful design. Once we do the final design, we move on to the perspective. Perspective depends, like I've just shown, indicated the perspective of a home. You can, it depends on whatever project you are doing. You may do an animation to understand it more. Sometimes the site is with contours, so you need to develop it accordingly. So it's like that. So basically, we give them the outlook of the building from the external aspect. That is what we do when we do the perspective and related design. Next and the most important thing is the consultant coordination. So this is what I said, we are the jack of all trades, but we expect the consultants to be the king of each of their profession. So the expert consultants are coordinated to ensure smooth process of construction depending on its complexity or as required by the law. So for not all the projects we call all of these consultants, we call them depending on the type of projects that we are doing. Structural are our partners in everything, whether it is a small house or a huge skyscraper, we depend on the structure to be our spine. So structural teams are always there with us. Next comes the mechanical. Now the mechanical consultants, they condition the air to suit the comforts of the habitants of the building. It is not just the friend house areas where we actually see, like when you go for a mall, when you go to a mall, or when you go to a hotel or a hospitality building. We all just see, as the end user, we just see the front of house areas, but the back of house areas are also there. So it is the duty of the mechanical consultants to ensure that comfort air level is maintained in all parts of the building. They work this out in very close coordination with the electrical and plumbing consultants. So all these three, normally we call them MEP consultants, mechanical, electrical, plumbing consultants, and usually we don't. Usually they are combined together and they usually work together so that it is easy to coordinate. So they come up with a proposal together and we try to incorporate that into our architectural and structural system. So that is how normally it works. And then once the design is finalized, we give it to the fire consultants to make the fire compartmentalization so that in case of an emergency, we can have the rescue operations well planned. So that is the next one. Fire is also a very important aspect. Another thing is the interior. Interior design, in the most cases, the architect themselves do the interior design, but there are interior design professionals or some architects who work only on interior design. So sometimes when you have bigger projects, it is good to have the architect different and the interior consultant different. So you can so that there is a smooth functioning among it. And the interior design, this is, you design it in such a way that it suits to the specific needs of the client. That the architect will be designing the planning aspect and the external aspect, but the interiors, because that is the reason why when you visit a residence, see all the residents, the main functions are similar. We don't have separate things usually, but an interior designer makes sure that each room is different from another house. Okay. Then another thing that we do is, this is a home we have done in Kuchukadavandra. So they had it's only a 10 feet area, the external area. But what we try to incorporate the landscape aspect into it, we put in small plants like Konnapu, and then we put in Konginipu, and then we put in a lawn area, small areas where, planter boxes where she could put some small creepers and small plants. And in the corner, we even put a mango tree because this is a corner plot and we had to leave setbacks on both sides. So that in turn worked as a good thing in terms of the landscape aspect of it. Landscape, this is one thing. Another thing is, landscape just doesn't mean beautifying a space with plants and trees and all that. Landscape is also when a proper landscape designer actually designs even the flow of water, all aspects related to the drainage also, because only then it will work out fine if you are designing a huge area. So all these aspects has to be clearly indicated, and then the landscape architect will work with the the plumbing team also to have a smooth function of the landscape, so that you don't have where you will have water getting collected and all that. So everything runs smoothly. So these all, so while we see the end design and all that, actually there is a lot of work going behind it. Next thing is facade design. Now facade design is facade design, as I put in the picture, it's an upcoming branch in the building industry. It's still nascent in the Indian scenario. We don't have many facade engineers here. A facade engineering team, they usually have architects and structural engineers who are well versed in the design of skyscrapers. Mostly facade design comes when it is a huge tall building. So they have to develop the skin layer and shape of the building, and they have to be very careful in using the materials, taking various load factors into consideration. So also technology and climatic studies has to work together to achieve this. Like for example, you may have seen huge glass buildings. So these glass buildings, the type of glass given, all this is studied in detail before it is given. Like sometimes they go in for double glazed unit with e-coating, sometimes they go in for single glazed units with e-coating. Depending on the sun's angle and the specific wind load over there, all these details, each material like the spire details, the aluminum panel detail, everything, the type of glass, the type of coatings to be given in glass, all this has to be prepared extensively before a skyscraper is designed. Then so these are the main consultants that we coordinate. for a project. Next, we have other consultants for further detailing. Like you have a lighting consultant. Lighting is a very important, lighting consultants play a very important role nowadays in creating the ambience and the use of the room. Nowadays, you have so many options with LED lighting. Even you have different colored lighting, like you have the warm color, which is slightly yellowish in color. Then you have the neutral color, which is like the daylight tone. Then you have the cool light, which reminds us of our old tube light. So all this they went through, and they will give you correct the lighting shade and the lighting level will be advised by the lighting consultant where to locate that. So now everybody is into indirect lighting. So where to put the indirect lighting so that the room has enough light, but the light source is not seen. Things like that has to be really worked out for very good projects. For residences and other smaller projects, in most cases the architects themselves do. But when it goes to huge projects, the lighting consultants are involved. Another thing that we require specialized consultants is the artwork. So sometimes this is a home we did. Actually, it's a duplex apartment. So here the client was a doctor, and he believes in the philosophy of Buddha. So he wanted to have the Bodhi and enlightenment tree in his home. And we were confused because it had to be located in a correct position. He was not practicing the religion of Buddhism, he was practicing the religion of Christianity. So we needed to have equal importance and reverence given to all the things, that is because we have done a mural of Jesus Christ also in this house. I didn't want to put everything in, so I have not placed it here. So what we did was we teamed up with a terracotta mural work artist. He's from Erur area, he's from our city only. He's very good in helping out with these kinds of designs. So he did this. So what they do is they do it as small tiles and they bring it over there and they fix it onto the wall. So this house was done keeping this as the focal point, and then the interior design was worked out. So this is an artwork where we ourselves involved along with a local tradesman and did it. But there are situations whereby you have for hospitality industry, like in hotel rooms, you always see different paintings and all that. So all this are thought of. It is not randomly picked. All this are thought of and placed it in such a way that the end user feels comfort in that ambience of the artwork there. So, but nowadays artwork, people have become more open to it because of Kochi Biennale, and also you have various people are open to the idea of the different types of art, the texture. It is not just a painting. You can have murals, you can have textures, you can have sound, you can have a stillness. So everything in art has been exposed to us now. I think the Biennale was a very good thing. So in another project, what we tried to do was, it was an apartment project, and we had to do the interiors of the common area. So thinking of, we tried to have a marriage between the traditional terracotta along with the glass. So we brought in bronze glass mirrors and the traditional terracotta, and we merged it together and created a beautiful sculpture. So it is like a wall feature sculpture. Okay. So basically what my intention is, artworks really matter when you actually put it in place at the right place. Okay. Also, next one is what I would like to talk about is a signage. Now, this is the signage that was done for an individual villa. So the client wanted to have a logo for his home, and this has been replicated in his home. The small tree kind of thing. And so it is replicated. We have put it in glass as stickers. You have the patterns in some shutters, not all, but some shutters. So in that case, this is for a small. It's for a single residence villa we have done. But when you look at huge projects, we have signage is a very important consultant there, because they tell us, there are rules and regulations too, rules and regulations, also sizes, letterings and all for directing people to each area. All this we can be, the signage consultant has to deliver. So whatever we are doing, we have the signage consultant coming to us and telling us, okay, this is the size we want, and this has to be put at this height. So signage consultants, it's not a very common consultancy in India yet, or in Kerala, but it is a soon to be important consultancy that would happen. Then another thing is, we have all heard about acoustics, and we know that if you don't have good acoustics, we wouldn't have a good experience, whether it is a theater, whether it is a church, whether it is an auditorium. Any area would require an acoustics. So acoustics is very important, and usually for all these projects, acoustic consultants are involved. Also, I would like to point out that it is not just in the area where speech is involved, or where music is involved, acoustics comes into picture. Acoustics is very important when you, even in hospitality industry, like for example, if you are giving a presidential suite, if you are living in a presidential suite in a hotel, they do not expect to hear even the voice of the water being pumped, or running through the pipelines. So in the ceiling, we give extra, or outer the edges of the pipe, we give extra rock wool or other acoustic material to make sure that the client who's living in the penthouse, or the presidential suite, they are relaxed and happy. So everything matters basically. Okay. Next, we have a very important thing, that is waterproofing. I believe you all know more about it than us, but that is also a very important field now. Then the latest and the most important thing nowadays happening in the specialized consultant fielding is the building automation and the security provider. So for small homes, you may have only camera, you may have alarm systems, smart intelligent homes you have. But when you go for larger projects, everything is, even the key card, everything you have, it has to have the building automation and security system consultant giving us. So, and also you have to involve these people in the beginning itself. Otherwise, sometimes they say after, if you are involving them at a later stage, what happens is they will say their fitting requires more thickness than the door that has been already been made. So to avoid any such things, it is always important, whichever consultants you think are required for this a particular project, you have to involve them right from the design stage. Maybe not from the layout stage, but when you allocate spaces, you need to have all these people coming in, how their wires are running, how their things are getting fixed. Sometimes all their things are not very aesthetically pleasing to see. So how do we hide it using interior design? All this. So this has to be worked out with all the consultants. And it is a very important thing that we do it at the correct manner, because sometimes if you keep the router in one place, you may not get proper Wi-Fi in another place, in an office building, or in a hotel project. I think we must all have experienced that, okay, here you don't get Wi-Fi, if you go there you get. So all this has to be correctly done by the building automation and security system provider. Next is a very lesser known consultancy. I don't know if you have heard about it. It's the ironmongery part. Now, ironmongery, we never think about it when we go to buy the tower balls, or the handles, or the locks. Now this has become a very important industry. The colors are different, the finishes are different, and you get a lot of choices in using that. So this has become a very important part with regarding to the building automation and to the interior design aspect. So these are the main consultants that we try to involved in a project, so that there are other fields as well. But I think these are the basic things that are involved, that you need to involve in a project. Next, I was talking about, what we are in between the services the architect has to offer. Then we have the submission documents, which are like the documents that you submit to the government authority to get sanctioned to build the building or the structure or whatever there. Then you have the construction documents. So I believe all of you are in the civil engineering field, and all who are seeing site supervisors are also attending this. So construction document is something that I would really like you all to give proper attention to. Many a time I've noticed that, you use only the plan at the site. Please don't do that. Please look at all the drawings that they have given you, because we usually give you plans, we give you elevations, we give you sections, then we give you details of each area. Please look at all that. So now this is a home we have done in Pulingundam near Alappuzha. So you have, this is we have put a site supervision picture and a completed picture. So all these interior, all these details, right, the small details like you have here and all that had to be done correctly. And also the ankles, you can't have, like when we went to a site last time, the ankles were different. Ankles will be same. So you have to check the height given in the elevation and do it. Next is remodeling. Remodeling is a service that architects are often called to do. That is, you try to, it can be in two ways: remodeling, renovation, revitalization. You call it in different names. So this is an auditorium that we try to remodel in Alappuzha. So this was the existing. So we have made it into this. So the main problem here was they had, the roofing system whereby the roof was very low. So we used the same roof. The same roof has been used in this. The truss is the same. We have changed the sheet. It was earlier asbestos sheet, so that we have changed to this. And we elevated the roof, and we gave more, you can see it, from here to here, we have elevated it sort of. So more volume was given inside the space, and also we gave it more an airy space also. This was the interior earlier. This is the inaugural function that is happening there. It's come out very well, and actually Alappuzha, they held the district youth festival and state youth festival here, because this has become one of the best auditoriums there. So the condition was this, and we made it with the same roof system. We've made it till this area. We have not changed anything. Just put some tiles so that it remains clean. Okay. Now we move on to this. I'm just showing you an interior design aspect. This is how we envisage the design, and this is how we have achieved it. So we help in picking out the furniture, the clothes, everything, the lighting, everything we try to help them. Next is this is a small balcony. So the client wanted the balcony to be included within his drawing room area. It's actually this area. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually this area. And so he wanted to have some natural elements there. And so we were wondering how to give him, because it's a small area. So then we thought, okay, we'll clad the wall and give a play of lighting there. So as you can see, we've given a play of lighting there. This is the envisaged design part, and this is the actual one. And we thought, like, because he was very insistent, I wanted to be like, a garden. So we thought, okay, why not have two small swings there, and a bit of since we couldn't give natural lawn, we gave them artificial lawn there. But it looks very nice now, and they're very happy with it. And even the selection of tiles, we've given a very textured kind of tile so that it looks like outside, and the cane furniture also. So everything together it's become a very cozy and charming place for the client. So all this is because the client just told us, I want a natural feel there. So we've tried to imbibe it and he's very happy with it. That's why I put his picture also in there. Next thing that we do is a tenant improvement. So now tenant improvement means when the client comes up with a space and asks us to design something. So here I have had the opportunity of designing the same space in two different ways. About 7-8 years back, we did a space as a coaching academy. So we have planned it like that, like you have a reception lobby coming in, you have the admin room, the projector room, and you have the MD's cabin here. They also had an access through here from where they wanted to go to the classrooms. So this was the admin core and this was the classroom area. But when it came, when the client changed and these people, they moved out to another place, and here we had another client coming in asking us to do a financial enterprise there. And they were very, being a financial institution, they were slightly believing in the Vastu and all, and they wanted, the seatings or the people, the staff to be sitting either towards north and east. So all these, even these small things, because they are starting a new business and they want it to be successful. So it is the duty of architects or us designers to give them the best they have, so that at least you'll give them peace of mind, you relieve them of the stress that comes associated with it. So the space has to be, basically tenant improvement means it has to fit in the requirements to make it more efficient, more connected to your customers. It has to be more enjoyable and more profitable. So I've shown this as an example because any space you give to an architect or to a designer and you tell them the function, they can evolve into a space that you want. So that's why I've shown you the same space as two different projects that we had to do. It's nearly getting one. I'll just quickly run through this. Now, the skill set of a site engineer that an architect expects is, one is excellent communication skill. That is, they have to correctly understand the instructions from the consultants and convey it to the workers at site to achieve the desired outcomes. Next is the drive the site team. Basically, it is the ability to demonstrate initiative and drive the site. Okay. Next, you need to have very strong organizational skills in planning the work and efficiently organizing the site and materials to meet the deadlines. And coordinating and executing of day-to-day activities is very important. Like some cases you have, suddenly they will call and ask, we don't have that drawing. Please don't do that. Please call early itself, because you have to, if you're a site person, you need to really act as the key person there. Okay, that is act as the first point of contact, which is the next thing. With the key stakeholders, that the client, the architect, other consultants, subcontractors, and any authorities, everything this site engineer has to, like the architect coordinates all the consultants, the site engineer at site has to coordinate every personnel there. Next is, if you have a very good problem solving skills, 90% of the conflict that happens among the workers in the site can be resolved there itself. You needn't go to your higher ups. So that is very important as a site engineer or a site manager. Next is, you need to have a proper management of the contractual documents and of the total project. And next, you have to have attention to detail, ensuring the construction is as per the technical documents. This is where I said you need to check all the drawings and not just the plans. Okay, so please do that. Now, coming to the conclusion of the thing, usually an architect's office will release all the drawings. So you need to coordinate with all the other consultants to get the right thing and do it. And when we lead a design team, we have to cultivate an open and trusting culture to facilitate knowledge sharing and encourage best of the project concerns approach. That is, if you have so many consultants and so many different personnel in a project, you need to discuss with among yourselves and then take what is best for the project. Now let's all join together and create and build buildings and spaces that are harmonious, beautiful, and nurturing the human soul. Hope all of you have imbibed something from this session. Thanking all once and again. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Sneha Mary Thomas, for this wonderful session. It was really, truly, informational, and got quite a lot of information from your lecture. I'm sure that everybody is as some takeaway from this. Basically, certain statements that you made. While I was just, I'm trying to recollect something where you mentioned about a place which was converted into a landscape, a place where the community used to use it as a playground for the children. Unfortunately, that's a big factor. We are losing playgrounds. We are losing places where the localites used to socialize, and that was where we all, our generation, transformed. And these days, due to lack of all that, people are becoming isolated, and isolated minds are that creates all this issues, I believe. Well, thank you so much. And Builders Association Chairman, Mr. Jolly Verghese is here. Sir, kindly come forward and give your valuable.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jolly Verghese, Chairman BA Cochin Center. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Anil Joseph for organizing this PAP program. I think this is the 5th one. BA Cochin Center, we have nearly 200 members. All are leading contractors and builders in Cochin. And we are also part of BA National. There are about 1,200 centers all over the nation with more than 12,000 members, patron members in our association. And Cochin Center is always a forerunner in improving the quality of our staff members, in technically and in other subjects like GST, taxes, and other things also. And we are also conducting regular meetings with industry leaders like CVC chairman and many builders and foremost builders, and many technical experts in various fields like surveying, plumbing, architectural, and firefighting, and all these things to improve the quality and the outcome or the output of our staff. And architecture is an art of science, technology, culture, environment, considering the human needs. I think this is a very tedious job for you because you have to coordinate with a lot of consultants, as you said, consultant, structural consultant, plumbing consultant, electrical, MEP, then lighting, landscaping. And there is so many agencies associated, especially the contractors, laborers. It's very tedious job to coordinate all these agencies together and to make it your dream come true. So it's a very tedious thing. On behalf of BA Cochin Center, Sneha, I would like to express my sincere hearty thanks to you for sharing your valuable time with us.
Thank you.
And you express the architecture in a very simple and very simple manner that we can understand the things. And once again, I would like to thank you. And I thank Nebu for coordinating construction philosophy, for coordinating this class today. I also like to thank our course coordinator, Dr. Anil Joseph. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jolie sir. Thank you so much. As Jolie sir had mentioned, actually, you have explained the whole thing in a very, understandable language, wherein every layman can understand what exactly, is happening over there. Well, this 1 hour is insufficient, to bring up the whole concept of architecture. I agree with that. And within this short time of 1 hour, you have given us a very enlightening session. Thank you so much once again, Architects Mayaberi. Let us go to the interactive session. I request all the participants, please enable your videos and be ready with your concerns and questions. All the participants, please enable your videos so that we can see each other and we can communicate. Anybody has any questions?
Dear participants, I again request you to ask or clear your doubts. You can. She's a very well experienced architect. You can clear your doubts. She said one point that usually the site engineers will consider the architectural plan only. See, I think it is from her experience. It's a usual thing that you should study the architectural drawing, structural drawing, and architectural plan, elevation, everything you should take it. Because the architect വരയ്ക്കുന്നത് നിങ്ങളതൊരു അതിൻ്റെ അവർ മനസ്സിൽ വിചാരിച്ച ഒരു ഡ്രീം ചെയ്ത പോലുള്ളൊരു ഒരു സ്ട്രക്ചർ അത് മെറ്റീരിയലൈസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് നിങ്ങളാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഡ്രോയിങ്സ് സപ്പോസ് ആർക്കിടെക്ചർ ഒരു മോഡലും ഉണ്ടാക്കി, പക്ഷെ മേ ബി സം മിസ്അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് ഓർ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ ഗ്യാപ്പ്, ചിലപ്പോൾ പ്ലാനിൽ ചെറിയ ചേഞ്ചസ് ഉണ്ടാവും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പ്ലാനിലുള്ള മെഷർമെന്റ്സ് ആയിരിക്കില്ല എലിവേഷനിൽ വരുന്നത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വൺസ് ഈ ഡ്രോയിങ് റിവൈസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഒരു കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ ഗ്യാപ്പ് കൊണ്ട് ചിലപ്പോൾ റിവൈസ് ചെയ്ത ഡ്രോയിങ്സിലെ മെഷർമെന്റ്സ് ചിലപ്പോൾ പഴയത് തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കാം. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ പല ഇഷ്യൂസ് ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പം ഇതെല്ലാം തമ്മിൽ കോറിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ സ്ട്രക്ചറൽ ഡ്രോയിങ്ങും ആർക്കിടെക്ചറൽ ഡ്രോയിങ്ങും സ്ട്രക്ചറൽ പ്ലാനും ശരിക്കും സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്ത് 3 ഡ്രോയിങ്സിനോട് കൂടി കമ്പൈൻ ചെയ്ത് അറ്റ് ദ സെയിം ടൈം പ്ലംബിംഗ് ഡ്രോയിങ്സും ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ ഡ്രോയിങ്സും നിങ്ങൾ ശരിക്കും തറവായിട്ട് സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്യണം. സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാലാണ് നമുക്കൊരു ഒരു എൻഡ് പ്രോഡക്റ്റ്, ഒരു സ്ട്രക്ചർ ക്ലയന്റിനും ആർക്കിടെക്റ്റിനും സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈഡ് ആയ രീതിയിൽ നമുക്കത് കൊടുക്കാനായിട്ട് പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും പ്രാക്ടീസിങ് എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സ് ആണ്, സൈറ്റിൽ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്ഡ് ആണ്. യു ഷുഡ് ടേക്ക് കെയർ ദിസ് ആൻഡ് യു ക്യാൻ ആസ്ക് യുവർ ഡൗട്ട്സ് ടു ഹെർ പ്ലീസ്. താങ്ക് യു.
Anybody from the participant side? Please go ahead. നിങ്ങളുടെ ഭാഷ ഇവിടെ ഒരു കൺസേൺ അല്ല. She is able to speak Malayalam also.
സ്നേഹ മാം, ഗുഡ് ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ.
Good afternoon.
മാം, എൻ്റെ പേര് അലൻ എന്നാണ്. ഞാനൊരു സിവിൽ എഞ്ചിനീയർ ആണ്. എനിക്ക് ഹലോ കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ? മാം, ആക്ച്വലി ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കുന്ന വളരെ ചെറിയ മൈനർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യമാണ്. ആക്ച്വലി മാമിന്റെ പ്രസന്റേഷനിൽ മാം കാണിച്ച ലുലു ഗ്രൂപ്പിന്റെ ആ ഒരു ബോർഡ് റൂം ഇല്ലേ?
ലുലു ഗ്രൂപ്പിന്റെ അല്ല, ലുലുവിന്റെ ടവർ, സൈബർ ടവറിലുള്ള ഒരു പ്രോജക്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തതാ.
ആണോ? ഓക്കെ. അല്ല, എന്റെ ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു കൺസേൺ വെച്ചാൽ ആക്ച്വലി ആ ബോർഡ് റൂമിനകത്തുള്ള ലൈറ്റ്സ് കുറച്ച് ഫ്ലാഷി ആയിട്ട് എനിക്ക് തോന്നി. എസ്പെഷ്യലി ബോർഡ് റൂം എന്നൊക്കെ ഇപ്പം ഏതൊരു കമ്പനിക്കാണ് ബോർഡ് റൂം ആക്ച്വലി കുറച്ച് നമ്മളൊരു സീരിയസ് നേച്ചർ ഓഫ് ടോക്കിംഗ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബ്രെയിൻ സ്റ്റോമിങ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പൊ പുതിയ ആൾക്കാർ അവിടെ വന്ന് ഇപ്പം കമ്പനി മാനേജ്മെന്റുമായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കുക, അതൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കത്തില്ലേ സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ ഒരു ബോർഡ് റൂമിന്റെ ഒരു നേച്ചർ. അന്നേരം എസ്പെഷ്യലി വെൻ ഐ എം കമ്മിങ് ഫ്രം ഔട്ട് സൈഡ് ആൻഡ് ഐ സീ ഓൾ ദീസ് ഫ്ലാഷി ലൈറ്റ്സ് ഓവർ ദെയർ, എനിക്ക് ചിലപ്പം അത് ഡിപ്പെൻഡ്സ് ഫ്രം പേഴ്സൺ ടു പേഴ്സൺ. ചിലപ്പം കുറച്ചൊരു ഇതെന്തുവാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് ഇത്രയും തിളക്കമുള്ള ലൈറ്റ്സ് ഒക്കെ ഇടുന്നത് ഒരു പക്ഷേ ഒരു തോന്നൽ വരാം. എല്ലാവർക്കും വരണമെന്നില്ല കേട്ടോ, ചില ആൾക്കാർക്ക് വരാം. അന്നേരം വാസ് ഇറ്റ് എ ക്ലയന്റ് റിക്വയർമെന്റ് ഓർ യു ഹാവ് ഡിസൈൻഡ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് മാനർ? That is my question.
Actually, thing is that you need to understand how the clients are. Like we are supposed to give the platter to them, right? For what in this situation, the clients wanted a very decorative kind of design aspect. So what we have tried to
Okay.
do is in that even in the director room, it is slightly very elegantly elaborate design we have done. So what we have tried to
Okay.
do, what we have tried to do in the boardroom, it is only the lights that are flashy.
Okay.
When it is required, only if it is like during actual board meetings, you needn't put the lights. It can just act as a decorative feature.
Okay.
You have other lights
Okay.
happening there. This is just a decorative ambient lighting. So what we do is when you have
Okay. Fine.
when they want it for a very professional kind of meeting, they don't put that light. It just hangs there. It looks good. That's it. Okay, but when you have it is not just board, proper board meetings that happen in the board meeting. They have the client, the office staff coming happening also there. So I showed all the photos I had shown in that slide. I showed you the workplace atmosphere where we have gone for a very nice soothing colors. But and in the reception area, we have again given a very high end feature for feature wall. But the rest of we went in for a very calm thing. So basically, what as an architect, what I have tried to do is, though the client wanted a very elaborate and decorative and very flashy kind of thing, we have tried to create a balance in between. So you give them, make them happy in the way they want, but the workplace you go in between. So that is also a part.
Understood.
Yeah. So you need to meet with their psychological aspects as well. Now it is not just your thoughts that. So you need to become a kind of balance between both, and so you feel good, but you give them what they want also. So that is how it turned out. So if I had not done that flashy lights, they would have asked me to do very flashy things on the boardroom, So I didn't want that happen. So we went in for a very elegant boardroom. Very like walnut tinted conference table and all that. But it is just the light. The light is actually what is happening is it is because of the reflection it is looking so elaborate. In reality, if you go there, you don't see the hanging bulbs. You just see the candle, like I don't know if I should say it in this forum, but it looks like the Harry Potter castle lights. In reality,
I have seen these photographs especially in the club area, like hotels, banquet hall. There I have seen such kind of. So I was a little bit surprised that you have incorporated the same thing in boardroom. So that's why I specifically asked you, was it a client requirement? Because if the client is insisting, you cannot say no to him.
It is
that
not
is what was my
It
question.
is a midway. It's a midway. Like what they want.
You strike a balance between both.
Yes.
Hello, pardon me, ma'am.
No, you strike a balance between the the 2 points. So you meet midway.
Okay.
Madam, you are designing a structure from your imagination.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you put it into the drawing board, into the drawing sheets.
Yeah.
See, the audience is from the construction field, the contractors or engineers or site supervisors.
Okay.
What do you expect from this audience? Because as an architect, you imagine it and you are looking for the end product. From your experience, what is the lack in the construction technicians or construction laborers and consultants or just like for finishing the structure up to your imagination? You just
that is a very good question. So basic thing earlier, like I earlier pointed out, I want the site engineers to be aware of all the technical documents that we have given them. That is the architectural drawings, the construction drawings, that from the structural side, or electrical, plumbing, whatever. I want them to be well versed in it. I'm not saying they should be, they should by heart it or anything, but at least the drawings should be available at site for them to check. Laminate it and keep a set of drawings there. That is the first thing I would like to say. Because wherever I have had a problem, they'll just say, "Oh, ma'am, we have not seen that drawing." We usually release the drawings all together. Then only the revised drawings we'll release at a later stage. Initially, we release a whole set of architectural and structural documents for the site. But sometimes they don't even know, they don't even have this perspective with them, when we do so many views and give it to the clients and the contractor should be giving it to the site. So that is the thing what I have faced mostly. So what happens is, sometimes we have had situations whereby they don't check the elevation. They'll just put, and nowadays it is not just the Malayali workers who are working. You have workers coming from all over India and working. So you have situation whereby they'll just put the, the scaffolding and the shuttering, and they'll just do the concreting without actually looking at the height or the angle. Like we give, sometimes we give a lot of small roofs, no? All those like stepping roofs and or dormer windows, all the angles will be different. All these we have measured it and given to it. So my personal request to all the site people are, please look at all the drawings. We have made it a point to draw it. We've done the views, we've done the drawings, everything. So that is my only request. That is a thing what I face mostly. Then another thing is that if you have any doubts, please call the architect's office and clarify. Like if you notice that in the section there is some measurement and in the elevation there is it is manual to error. So please ask. There's no harm in doing that. After you finish it and then we come to the site and then we know, okay, this is wrong. Then, the client, it is a matter of the client getting involved and all sort of problems happening. So that is why I said the problem solving skills, the coordinating skills, all that, I would like to have all the skill set that we said there, that is what we really want. Basically, if you just look at all the drawings, I think it would be fine. And if you have any doubts, please call and ask. I don't know if all architects are very, open to having everybody calling them all the time, but at least I am open. And if you can always call for a site meeting also.
Yeah, so, that's my advice to all the participants, that you should study the architectural and structural and all other plumbing consultants and all other drawings very thoroughly before starting the project. And one thing is, you should, in Cochin city, you know that the plot value is very high. There is small plots are, almost all plots are very small and very congested. So you should ensure the offsets or building offsets. Many clients I know that after completing and finishing, they go to the corporation for getting the license or for the completion certificate. They become a problem, because some sites there may not be minimum clearance of 1.2 meter or 1.5 meter, or sometimes there will not be 3 meter offset from the roads. And it is very important that there will be a problem, and they have to pay. So unnecessarily they have to pay for the bribe for the corporation people and other things. So my advice is that you should study the drawings thoroughly and check it thoroughly. Any doubt, please ask the architect to give the detailing and the new drawings also. Thank you. Any doubts, please ask.
Architect Sneha, quick question actually. When you design a building, a structure, what should be the main focus? Is it the aesthetics or the cost or the functionality? What should be the main key focus according to you?
I would say all three matters. So first you should understand what is the finance situation of the client, to what extent they can bear. Okay, so that you have to understand. Then the function plays the most important role. If you do not achieve the function that they want, you are a failure. So the function, the cost, and the aesthetic part should go in hand to hand. Then only you can get a good building. So all three are equally important.
Yeah, thank you, Sneha. It was a very informative session. and it was very useful also. And now I realize that since how you are able to manage all the things well and how the team works well, because we are working with Sneha for many of her projects, and it's a great privilege to work together. But the learning psychology and fine arts definitely helps you out, and it was a very simple way you have explained architecture in detail, and the intricacies the architect makes to get a good product can be explained, and the minute details you go in for, like the way that swing was provided in that small area. It's all very interesting to us, very interesting to hear from you. Thanks a lot for that. I have one question for you as well as one question for Rajiv. The question for Rajiv is that you talked about drywall, and a question really connected with the Sneha's presentation, because when you are going for a drywall, as I know, the weight is saved. But what about the acoustic part of that? Because Sneha was telling about the presidential suite where will have a problem. So what is that aspect which is going to get linked into it? How good is your product from the acoustic perspective of view? Because we know it's a lightweight material. Now the question to Sneha is that, say you coordinate with so many people from the different industries, and you being one of the very good architect and especially internationally, if you see that there is a lot of conflict between architect and the consulting engineers. It's like a husband and wife relationship mostly, so there will be difference of opinion. How do you feel that a good teamwork, and again the main barrier is the front persons who are in the site, who are executing all our dreams into reality there. They are the real commandos in the field who get it done. So how do you think that a good teamwork can be accommodated among all the various stakeholders in this team who try to create a good product for the client? So this is one question for you and one question for Rajiv.
Should I answer first, or would you like to go ahead?
I'll just tell you the features of our product which we are highlighting. I told you we have a product called silicon board. The name is called Hilux, Ramco Hilux. So basically that when you say acoustic property, there are two major parameters or factors we consider. One is NRC value and one is STC value. So as far as our product is concerned, because sound transmission class and the noise reduction coefficient, these are the major two parameters when you select a product. There are multiple activity we have to do that depends upon the client's requirement. If it is a boardroom, if it is a theater, home theater. So different acoustic property or acoustic level, we have to fix it up. Based on that, we can attain this acoustic level based on the customer requirement. Or
your product has got a definite already a rating is there. So you can select
Hilux is having better, far better acoustic property. So our, as it's a board, it's concerned, we can give you 0.4 NRC value, and we can attain 0.80 NRC value. So this is the major advantage with the Hilux board. And the sound transmission class, we can attain 56 dB system. As a system, we can provide. As a product, we can give a better acoustic value product. Hilux is having that kind of properties. That's one of the major elements.
So as an end user, I can select the product based on the requirement. Thank you. That was what I was looking for. Thank you, Raju. Thank you. Yes, Neha.
Hi, Anil. Thanks for the question. Now, see, the success of a project depends on that. So what my policy is when I deal with all the structural consultants or any other consultants as for that matter, right from the beginning, I try to involve them. I understand what they want, but I do question them. Like, sometimes I have fought with you also. No, you can't give that beam there. It spoils with my thing. Yes, I do that. But it all, we try to do that by giving respect and taking respect from each other. And that is why I said we try to have that best of the best for the project approach, So you, especially even if you're dealing with a new consultant or a new contractor, you try to tell them, okay, this is how you want the project to be. This is what you want. This is what the client wants in the end. And we need it like that, this at the end. So if you have any trouble, you tell us. then we will solve it and move ahead. So that is the way I try to do things. Like I don't try to create a big huge hangama at site. If there is a problem at site, I usually go and tell that person what went wrong. I try to understand why they did it that way. So most cases, what they say is, Madam, enikku drawing kittilla. So I know that it is not their fault. So there's no point in screaming or howling at them. So what I do is I call up the contractor or the concerned client and ask them to pass it to the worker, and that is how we resolve things. Also, I always tell them, please feel to call my office. And I also, the main why I'm doing this is because in my heart of heart, I know I am not the person who keeps a brick to make that building. I know very well it is the hand of that laborer or that worker who makes my dream, my drawings into a reality. And so I really respect him actually in my hearts of heart for that. So I think I don't usually do that. I fight when we need to, but that is only for the project. And after that, when I'm going out of the site, I never make a bad face and go. I go and talk to that person and call and tell him, Jetta, please do it like that next time, or call me or anything like that. I just try to solve it there and then come out. That's how I manage. Each person has their own way of doing it. But I think, Anil, you know how I am. So yeah.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you.
It's a teamwork. It's a teamwork.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yes, Jolly put it for everything.
Consultants, architect, and the site person. That's why I said, the architect coordinates the consultants, but the site person is the actual key factor here. If he doesn't understand what you want, the site will not be correct.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you. And I think Don Thomas has a question. He's raised his hand for quite some time. Don, please go ahead. Don, you got to unmute.
Yeah, sure, sir. Hi, Sneha ma'am.
Hi.
Sneha ma'am, എനിക്കൊരു ഡൗട്ട് ഉള്ളതെന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ആർക്കിടെക്ചറിൽ കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ളത് ഇന്റീരിയർ ഡിസൈനിങ് കൂടുതൽ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ പല ടൈപ്സ് ഉള്ള മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് നമ്മൾ ഇന്റീരിയർ ഡിസൈനിൽ നമ്മൾ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാനിപ്പോൾ റീസെന്റ് ആയിട്ട് കുറെ സ്ഥലത്ത് കണ്ടുവരുന്നത് ഈ റസ്റ്റിക് ഫീല് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കോൺക്രീറ്റിന്റെ ഫിനിഷ് അതൊക്കെ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ അതിലൊരു ഡൗട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, നമ്മൾ ഈ മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്റീരിയർ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇപ്പൊ പലർക്കും പല കാര്യങ്ങൾ വെച്ചാൽ ആൾക്കാർ ചിലപ്പോൾ അലർജറ്റിക് ആയിരിക്കും പല കാര്യങ്ങളും. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നിങ്ങൾ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞാൽ കൊള്ളാം.
നമ്മള് ഇപ്പൊ എനിക്കിപ്പോ എല്ലാവരെയും കാര്യം പറയാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. ബട്ട് വാട്ട് വി ഡു ഇസ്, നമ്മളൊരു ഇന്റീരിയർ ഡിസൈൻ ഏത് സ്പേസിന്റെ എടുത്താലും ഫസ്റ്റ് വാട്ട് വി ഡു ഇസ് വിൽ ആസ്ക് ദ ക്ലയന്റ്, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അവിടെയൊക്കെ എന്താ വേണ്ടതെന്ന് ചോദിക്കും. ഇപ്പൊ അതിനൊരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയുവാണെങ്കിൽ, ഇപ്പം ഒരു ഗിറ്റാർ പ്ലേ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു മോനുണ്ട് അവർക്ക് എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചോ. So they need to have a space to place the guitar, right? Otherwise you can't tell that child ഇവിടെ you can't say like that. So you have to have a space for everything. So initially itself you will ask them angane undo, and then if you have kids who are into a lot of sports, we do give them a space right at the entrance of the house so that you can keep everything there, Otherwise, if you take it to your room and then you go and keep it over there, the sweaty, everything. So we give them ventilated cupboards right at the entrance of the house. So things like that you can give in, that is specific needs of the clients. Regarding to your question, whenever we do an interior design, we show the 3D views of it. And it is very clearly indicated where the rustic finish is coming, where the stone cladding is coming, whatever finish we are trying to achieve. So we will not be able to know if the client is allergic to anything. The client will have to tell us, no, we can't have it because we are allergic to it. That is how we do it. Like sometimes we have clients, whose parents or whose kids may not be able to use certain kind of toilets. They may need certain other facilities. So we will incorporate that. So they'll tell us beforehand itself, like we have this concern. Then we have families with elder people who tell us that, they need ramps everywhere. They don't want a level difference in the toilet because we give wet area and a dry area and all that. So, then we try to give a gentle, slightly more, slightly more slope so that the water drains off. So things like that, it is like what do you say, a one-to-one kind of approach. For each client we do differently. So the allergic kind of thing you have asked, we will not be able to know it until the client tells us.
ഓക്കെ മാം, ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചത് ഇത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. അങ്ങനെ ഉദ്ദേശം എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കുന്നത്, നിങ്ങളിത് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റനെയർ പോലെ നമ്മൾ ചെല്ലുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ അവരുടെ റിക്വയർമെന്റ്സ് നിങ്ങൾ എടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. വാട്ട് ദേ നീഡ് ദേ ടേക്ക് അപ്പ് ഫ്രം ദം. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഹെൽത്ത് റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ട് ഇഷ്യൂസ് ഉണ്ടോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ എന്തിനെങ്കിലും വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഈ ഹെൽത്ത് റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങൾ കുറച്ചും കൂടി കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ എന്നാണ് എനിക്കൊന്ന് അറിയാം.
ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മളിപ്പം ഇങ്ങനെ ജനറൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഡിഫറെന്റ്ലി ഏബിൾഡ് അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ സ്ലൈറ്റ്ലി കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പം ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ നമ്മൾ ഡ്രോയിങ് റൂമിന്റെ അല്ല ബെഡ്റൂംസിന്റെ ഒക്കെ മാസ്റ്റർ ബെഡ്റൂമിന്റെ ഡോറെങ്കിലും വി ഗിവ് 1 meter സോ ദാറ്റ് ദ വീൽ ചെയർ ക്യാൻ ബി പുഷ്ഡ് ഇൻ. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ബേസിക് കൺസിഡറേഷൻ വി ക്യാൻ ട്രൈ ടു ഗിവ്. ബട്ട് ഇഫ് ദേ ഹാവ് എനി സ്പെസിഫിക് തിങ് ദ ക്ലയന്റ് യൂഷ്വലി ടെൽസ് us. നമ്മൾ ചോദിക്കാതെ തന്നെ അവര് അങ്ങനത്തെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഓപ്പൺ ആയി പറയും. ബിക്കോസ് വൺ തിങ് ഇസ് ദാറ്റ് everybody tells us the real truth so that we can give them the correct thing. They don't try to hide things from us. Like we have for example, if we are a working couple and just on a deviation pole parayuva, we are a working couple and the master couple, both of them are going to office or whatever space. See, they both need to get ready at the same time. So they may have 2 toilets for a master bedroom. Okay, so that doesn't mean it is bad. That is a requirement for them. It may sound a bit different from what others want, but that is a requirement from them, So we do like that. So it is basically, if there is anything specific regarding to health, the client will have to tell us. Otherwise, we will not be able to know.
Okay, ma'am. That's Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, ഞാൻ പേഴ്സണലി എൻ്റെ വീട് ചെയ്തപ്പം ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു റിക്വയർമെന്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മൊത്തം എർത്തി എസ്തെറ്റിക്സ് വേണമെന്നുള്ളതായിരുന്നു. അപ്പം മാക്സിമം ബ്രിക്ക് എക്സ്പോസ്ഡ് ആയിരിക്കണം എന്നുള്ള, അത് ഇന്റീരിയറിലായാലും എക്സ്റ്റീരിയർ ആയാലും ബ്രിക്ക് എക്സ്പോസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു വീട് ചെയ്യണമെന്നായിരുന്നു. ഓക്കെ, അങ്ങനെ ഇടയിൽ വെച്ച് ആർക്കിടെക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ആർക്കിടെക്റ്റ് ടൈംലി ഡെലിവറി ചെയ്തില്ല. ഐഡിയാസ് എന്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അത് ചെയ്തില്ല. അപ്പൊ എന്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഫ്രെയിംഡ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആയിരുന്നു. അപ്പം ഇതിന്റെ ബീമും കോളവും അവസാനം ഹൈഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാതായി. ഇത് എക്സ്പോസ്ഡ് ആയി. ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊരു ഐഡിയ ഇല്ല ഇത് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണോന്നുള്ളത്. അവസാനം ഞങ്ങൾ ഫുൾ ക്ലാഡിംഗ് സ്റ്റോൺ വെച്ച്, അതായത് വൃത്തിയായിട്ടുള്ള ബ്രിക്ക് ഫിനിഷ് ഉള്ള ക്ലാഡിംഗ് സ്റ്റോൺ വെച്ച് തന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ ചിന്തിക്കും അതങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുമായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ എന്തായിരുന്നു ഒരു ആർക്കിടെക്റ്റിന്റെ മനസ്സിലെന്ന്. എങ്ങനെയാണ് സാധാരണ നിലയിൽ അത് ഹൈഡ് ചെയ്യാം? ഫ്രെയിംഡ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്ത് ഒരു എക്സ്പോസ്ഡ് ബ്രിക്കിൽ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇന്റീരിയർ ഞങ്ങൾ അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു. പല ടെക്സ്റ്റേഴ്സും അതൊക്കെ കൊടുത്ത് ഞങ്ങൾ അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു, കോളംസ് എല്ലാം അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു. ബട്ട് എക്സ്റ്റീരിയർ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയില്ല.
ഓക്കെ, അത് ഒന്നെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, ഇഫ് യു ആർ ഗോയിങ് ഇൻ ഫോർ ദ എർത്തി ഫിനിഷ്, യു ഹാവ് ടു ഗോ ഫോർ, നോർമലി നമ്മളൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ഓക്കെ, ഓരോ ആർക്കിടെക്റ്റിനും ഓരോ അപ്രോച്ച് ആയിരിക്കും. സോ ഇഫ് യു സേ ദാറ്റ് നോ, ഐ വാണ്ട് എ ഫുള്ളി എക്സ്പോസ് ബ്രിക്ക് ഓർ വയക്കട്ട് ബ്രിക്ക് സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആണ് വേണ്ടത്, ഒരു ചെറിയ ബേക്കർ മോഡൽ ആണ് വേണ്ടതെങ്കിൽ, then you should not have gone for a framed structure until unless it was called for. നിർബന്ധമായിട്ടും സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആൾക്കാര് പറ്റില്ല. ബിക്കോസ് ഫ്രെയിംഡ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ 2020 കോളംസ് തന്നെയല്ലേ കൊടുത്തത്. അത് you could have given brick solid enough to support that weight. ആ ലോഡ് എടുക്കാൻ ബ്രിക്കിന് കേപ്പബിലിറ്റി ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പം if you had wanted it that way, I don't know if you had conveyed that to your architect, but അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ഈ പ്രോബ്ലം ഫേസ് ചെയ്തില്ല. അത് നോർമലി നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനെയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. രണ്ടാമത്തെ സിനാറിയോയിൽ എങ്ങനെയാന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മൾ ആ കോൺക്രീറ്റിന് എക്സ്പോസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ട് തന്നെ വെക്കും. ഇപ്പൊ ലൈക്ക് earlier he asked, no, അതിന്റെ ഫിനിഷ് എങ്ങനെയാ വെച്ചാൽ അതും എക്സ്പോസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ട് തന്നെ നമ്മൾ വെക്കും. അപ്പൊ ടോട്ടലി നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ടെക്സ്ചർ ഇത് പോലെ you will expose it and keep. തേർഡ് തിങ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യാറുള്ളത്, അത് you must have seen ചില ബിൽഡേഴ്സിന്റെ പ്രോജക്ട്സ് ഫുൾ ബ്രിക്ക് ക്ലാഡിംഗ് പോലെയുള്ള പ്രോജക്ട്സ് ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ അതിനകത്ത് കയറി കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് തോന്നിയത് എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ബിക്കോസ് കോളംസ് കൊടുക്കാണ്ട് 13 സ്റ്റോറി 14 സ്റ്റോറി സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സ് നിൽക്കില്ലല്ലോ. സോ വാട്ട് ദേ ഡു ഇസ് അവർ അതിന്റെ പുറത്ത് ഒരു ക്യാവിറ്റി പോലെ പടുത്തിട്ട് ബ്രിക്ക് പുറത്ത് കൊടുക്കും. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് നമ്മുടെ ലാംഗ്വേജിൽ പറഞ്ഞാൽ എക്ലിറ്റിസം ആണ്. യു ആർ ട്രൈങ് ടു അച്ചീവ് സംതിങ് വിത്ത് അനദർ തിങ്. മനസ്സിലായോ? അപ്പൊ ബേസിക്കലി ഐദർ യു ഷുഡ് ഹാവ് ഗോൺ ഫോർ എ ഫസ്റ്റ് തിങ്, ഫ്രെയിം സ്ട്രക്ചർ പോകരുതായിരുന്നു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫ്രെയിം സ്ട്രക്ചർ ഓപ്പൺ ആയി തന്നെ നിർത്തണമായിരുന്നു. തേർഡ് ഓപ്ഷൻ യു ഹാവ് ഓൾറെഡി ഡൺ, യു ഹാവ് പുട്ട് ഇൻ ദ ക്ലാഡിംഗ് ബ്രിക്ക് സ്റ്റോൺസ് അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ. അപ്പൊ ഇത് ആദ്യം തന്നെ നമ്മളത് പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നെങ്കിലേ നമുക്കത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ.
അല്ല, ആർക്കിടെക്ട് എൻട്രി ചെയ്തത് തന്നെ ഫ്രെയിംഡ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആണ് എന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ ഒരു ഐഡിയയിലേക്ക് വന്നത് തന്നെ.
Usually there is one more way to do it. ചില ആളുകൾ ഹൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പോയിന്റ് മാത്രം, ഈ കോൺക്രീറ്റ് ഉള്ള പോർഷൻ മാത്രം പ്ലാസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തിട്ട് അവിടെ ഒരു ബാൻഡ് പോലെ കൊടുത്ത് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കോർണേഴ്സസ് കൊണ്ട് കവർ ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. ചില പർട്ടിക്കുലർ സോയിൽ കണ്ടീഷനിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ചില സ്ഥലത്ത് നമുക്ക് ലോഡ് ബെയറിംഗ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത സ്ഥലം വരും. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഇപ്പൊ ബാംഗ്ലൂരിൽ 30-40 സൈറ്റ്സ് ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, 30 ഫുട്ട് ബൈ 40 ഫുട്ട് സൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. അവിടെ നമുക്ക് ലോഡ് ബെയറിംഗ് ചില സമയത്ത് കൊടുക്കാനായിട്ട് പറ്റാറില്ല, ഓഫ്സെറ്റ്സ് കൊടുക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് ഫൗണ്ടേഷനിൽ. അപ്പോൾ മോസ്റ്റ്ലി ഫ്രെയിംഡ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ തന്നെയാണ് ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പൊ എക്സ്പോസ് ബ്രിക്ക് മേസൺറി വേണം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആളുകൾക്ക് ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കുന്നത് ഈ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഏരിയ, ഈ കോളംസ് കോർണറിൽ വരുന്ന കോളംസോ അവിടെ മാത്രം നമ്മൾ ഇത് ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കും, പ്ലാസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തിട്ട്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കോർണേഴ്സ് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഓർണമെന്റൽ വർക്ക്സ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കാം. പക്ഷെ ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ മിഡിൽ വരുന്ന കോളംസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന് വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും വെച്ചിട്ട് ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, ആസ് ഇതുപോലെ ഈ ക്ലാഡിംഗ് സ്റ്റോൺസോ അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും വെച്ചിട്ട് ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാറുള്ളത്. അതും ദാറ്റ്സ് ഓൾസോ അനദർ ഓപ്ഷൻ.
ഓക്കേ, താങ്ക് യു.
Anybody else? എനിക്ക് Mr. രാജീവിനോട് ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഉണ്ട്. Are you there, Mr. Rajiv?
Yeah.
Mr. Rajiv, actually, how about the cost effectiveness of your product? Actually, see, all of them will be very keen to know that. So, how cost effective is it?
See, as far as building construction is concerned, if you take wall to wall, there will not be much savings on that. Okay, so we always say that overall costing. So one is weight is less, so you don't need to spend more money on foundation. Overall cost, I'm saying that. And the time saving, and say suppose if you are taking 6 months or 7 months, you can complete the work in 3 months. So you can save that period also. So overall cost will be definitely 15 to 20% lesser than the normal conventional type construction. That is the thumb rule I'm saying. So that depends upon the customer needs and all. But now I noticed that there in Kerala, this type of construction is widely accepted. As you know that in foreign countries, I think this kind of, because we are, I told you, we are exporting to 28 countries. So this kind of construction is well accepted in across world. Now still in India, that mindset had to come because we need a big wall. ഭയങ്കര ഒരു സേഫ്റ്റി ആണ് നമ്മൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ആ ഒരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ്. ബട്ട് കേരളയിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരുപാട് സ്ഥലത്ത് ആലപ്പി, ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് one contractor is constructing almost 28 houses just like that, steel frames with boards. So one is overall cost, if you say much lesser than the normal, not much lesser, 50-20% lesser than the normal conventional type. But if you consider the wall to wall, because the cost of board, cost of sections, if you say that, it almost same, but overall cost is much lesser. So we can select the product as such. So Hilux is slightly expensive. So where you need much good finish you want, there you can use Hilux. Exterior part you can see, you can use Hisam, and you can give finish whatever finish you feel that you can give it on these boards also. So its durability is much as good as cement.
And can we use this Hisam cement, that is fiber cement panel, for toilets partitions?
Absolutely. Yeah. I have showed you that external also we have used, and you can, that kitchen area you can see, bathrooms also. I just showed you that LGSF construction in Rajapalayam, complete bathrooms and toilets are with boards only, and tiles are fixed on that.
Yeah, there is no problem of dampness.
No, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
Okay, now we are doing the conventional type of construction. I think, you know, in Kerala, the labor rate is very high comparing to all national level. In national level, our minimum wages is around 300 rupees. But in Kerala, our government fixed the minimum wages of mason and construction laborers around 980 rupees, nearly 1,000 rupees.
Correct.
So this 3 times.
Yeah.
So the labor rate is very high. So we have to change from the conventional style to new modern prefabricated systems in the future.
Very true.
I think Ramco had a good scope for that.
Yeah, I think we need your help actually. So we are there to service you. We are there to train your team members also. We have full-fledged team members to train people. So we are doing across India and abroad. So I request your support required to at least start using some area. Then you will also get the flavor of the products.
Definitely, Rajiv, we will support. We all support you. Thank you.
Thank you.
What Jolly sir has mentioned is absolutely right. You know, the industry scenario, the whole industry scenario is going to change. Already change has taken place. You know, considering the labor, material supply, and all that factors, it's going to be really tough for you know, builders to execute jobs, and mostly in this part of the country, Kerala. You know, it's going to be really tough. So we have to rework on our methodologies and, you know, our practices. Definitely we have to do that. And that is where, you know, Ramco's products become significant. And we may have to switch to some other methodologies like, you know, composite structures or steel structures. In the Gulf, they use it very extensively. In fact, such methodologies I've seen in the Gulf countries, they are using it very effectively. And even the composite structures, they're using it very well, they're constructing it. But we are very skeptical actually in this part of the country, especially in the southern India, part of India, we are very skeptical. You know, all of us together, I think if we we can make a change, that's going to be the future. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajiv. Thank you so much, Architect Sneha. It's, I think, time to wind up. It's already 1:30. And, you know, Ramco has been our associate from past 1.5 years. Actually, we have been associated with one of their product called Ramco Supercrete. They have, you know, they used to take 500 magazines from us and distribute it among their clients and engineers and all that. And I'm looking forward to having association with Ramco other products also. I have visited Mr. Rajiv once, but unfortunately, you know, since this COVID hit, we were not able to take it forward. Things are going to, you know, take a while to restart the publication also. And I'm looking forward to having association with Architect Sneha also once our, you know, magazine starts publishing. And I request Dr. Anil Joseph to come forward and give the thanks talk.
Yeah, thank you everyone, the participants, construction philosophy, Rajiv, Sneha. It was a very interactive session, very informative session, and I was messaging to Sneha that I picked up few points in architecture today, and then the respect of architect has gone a bit 2 inches higher today by the way she presented it, that the sheer number of domains they have to look into when taking a decision, including the psychological, the financial, and all the other aspects also. It was a very interesting session, very informative session, and I think definitely our participants would have got a lot of mileage out of that. Rajiv, we have worked with you, don't worry. And then we are very happy. Nebu was asking regarding the prices. So this Lulu Grand Hyatt, which we were the consultant, we saved a lot of money given the cost of these boards were higher, but my foundation cost came down drastically. So that I have told the story many times. From 92 crores was the tender fund. Jerome did that. And when we finalized all these elements put together, we came up with 69 crores. So that saving, a major part was by going for a drywall system. And drywall system is going to catch very soon into the industry. And we will have to improve upon the system. And that is the purpose of these sessions also. And thank you each and everyone. And I would also like to thank the chairman and all the participants and all the supporting team. And special thanks to Sneha Sneha for joining us today and sharing their knowledge in the architecture field with us. And all the best for each of you. Stay safe, stay calm, be relaxed. COVID is not gone yet. Let us be very careful and let us try to improve our knowledge in this learning platform, online learning platform. Thank you, Nebu, for being part of Builders Association of India, supporting Builders Association in India through your magazines of construction philosophy. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.